You're listening to Thunder and Lightning on SuperTalk Mississippi, covering Mississippi State sports like nobody else. With Sports Talk Mississippi's Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk of On3 Sports. Now get ready for Thunder and Lightning.
This is Thunder and Lightning here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk here with you on a Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us here at supertalk.fm or wherever it is that you get podcasts from. We appreciate you guys out there, our great listeners, especially our servicemen and women out there taking care of us. We want to thank our sponsors over at Strange Brew Coffee House and Churn and Spoon Ice Cream. Start your day the right way with a trip to the drive-thru over at Strange Brew Coffee House here in Starkville or at Brupolo over in Tupelo. Be a little weird, Robbie, if Brupolo was in East Tabucci.
Way down yonder in the East of Bucci.
I mean, it rhymes.
Yeah, it does.
You can make it work.
Yeah.
Wherever you are in our great state, you can enjoy Strange Brew Coffee each and every morning. It's only a click away at strangebrewcoffeehouse.com. The Mississippi Beef Council wants to remind you that beef, it is what's for dinner. Guys, whatever you're cooking this weekend, nothing is better than beef. And this is going to be a cold weekend. That means you can break out the chili pot, some beef stew, some taco soup, something to keep you warm while it's cold outside. Or if you just want to fire up the grill, nothing beats the sizzle of beef. Whatever you're cooking this weekend, make part of your recipe beef. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Thanks to our friends, the Mississippi Beef Council. College Corner, collegecornerstore.com. That's the place to find the maroon and white merchandise that you are looking for. And I know that you are looking for it. You need new gear, you can get it at College Corner. 2 locations to serve you in the Jackson area. They're originally by Fleet Feet, Flowed by the Half Shell, or you can shop online at collegecornerstore.com. Restaurant Tyler, Starkville's flagship restaurant. For lunch, dinner, Sunday brunch, the best meal in town, always at Restaurant Tyler. I'm still thinking about our lunch from yesterday. That was just fantastic. It was so good. And it's why I keep going back to Restaurant Tyler, because it's just consistent. You know, consistency in a restaurant is maybe the most important thing. If you're getting good food once or twice, you can't risk it. But when the food is good every time, when the service is good every time, that's when you have a place you want to go back to time and time again. And that's what you've got with Restaurant Tyler. Priority One Bank, 16 locations to serve you throughout Central Mississippi. Let PriorityOneBank.com be your guide. They will show you not only where they're located, but they're going to show you how they're going to help you invest, manage your money, and prepare for the future. Now more than ever, when you have questions about your money, you deserve answers. You need them quickly. You can't afford to wait around. That's why you need the service that you're going to get at a bank like Priority One Bank. Central Mississippi, if you live in Central Mississippi, you live near a Priority One Bank location. Let them help you. Let them show you what make you their priority. It's Rumblings Day here on the podcast. We moved back a day with all the sports news we had yesterday. And, of course, the Rumblings are brought to you by our friends over at Paul Davis Restoration. Winter storms. You know, there was some snow up in North Mississippi today. I don't know that we're going to have another big winter storm, but if we do and you have storm damage, or if you ever have a fire or there's mold damage in your house, whatever it is, Paul Davis Restoration is there to help you recover with fast professional service to restore your home and business to its original condition. But even more than that, they're going to offer property improvement services. So they're not going to just bring you back to where you were. They can take you where you want to go. Paul Davis Restoration, 662-769-7285. Let them bring your property back to life. If you're in the Golden Triangle or if you're in Tupelo and you have any kind of damage at your property, call Paul Davis Restoration. And they bring you the Rumblings this week. And let's just jump right into them. Hunter Johnson, now that State is playing for seeding, would you rather be a 4 or a 5? And which 12 or 13 seeds should we worry about? I can't answer the second part of that question because I just don't have the knowledge. But I would say look at teams that are shooting 37, 38% from three-point range, and those are the teams you don't want to see.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like mid-majors like that.
Yeah.
Like
for example,
just really good three-point shooting teams.
One of the last bracketologies before this week had State matched up with Utah State. That is a team that shoots 37% from three. You don't want to play them. I would much rather be a 4 if you answered the question. Though.
That brings back like some
Butler memories.
Well, I was thinking Xavier, but yeah, very scary.
Yeah, I just don't want. I just prefer not to do.
Xavier were they a 4? No, they weren't a 14.
No,
that was
the
first
7.
matchup.
They were 7. Yeah, and they ended up going to the Elite 8 that year. But it was a good team.
State was a 2 seed.
Yeah.
State would have played the 15 in the first round. So they played
Monmouth,
not Marist.
Yeah.
I knew it was a
it was a northeast school that started with an M.
Yeah, correct.
There you go. Would have been a 1 seed, but Gene Swindle tripped Lawrence Roberts. Just say what it is. I'd rather be a 4 seed, Hunter, to be honest. I mean, the 5-12 jinx is a real thing. There's always a 5-12 upset you don't want to be in.
Plus, it's a higher seed.
Yeah, it just means you had a better season. 4 seed probably means this team finished 11-7 at worst.
Yeah. So it would just be a loss to Bama at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which is not out of the question.
Keep us right. With you guys already doing the Catfish Tour, do you think y'all do a Mississippi Beef Council tour, hitting up the top steak and burger joints in Mississippi? From your lips to God's ears, Kivas, make it happen, Captain. If the Mississippi Beef Council is listening, Robbie and I would be thrilled and excited to do that.
Here's what I'll say. There's nothing is set in stone right now.
No.
We haven't.
We're
working on some things, but we haven't decided on anything. There's still stuff open.
If our friends in the Mississippi Beef Council,
absolutely love to do a beef council.
Let me tell you something right now. If the Mississippi Pizza Council wants to reach out to us, if the Mississippi Fried Chicken Council wants to reach out, the Mississippi Anything Barbecue Council wants to reach out to us, we will tour. We will do a tour. Reach out to us and let us know.
It's true. I would absolutely love to do a beef tour. That'd be incredible.
Yeah. I mean,
hamburgers and steaks.
Yeah.
And whatever else.
How can we go wrong with that? I got to do a quick Google search here for something, but we're good after that. All right, we're good. Blair Williamson, where were you the last time Mississippi State men's basketball won an NCAA tournament game, and what cell phone did you have? I would have.
Okay, that was 2008.
I was a parent of one.
Oregon.
They beat Oregon, yes.
Charles Rhodes had 30 plus in that game.
Big game.
I was at my parents' house watching that game. I remember it vividly.
Mm-hmm.
What cell phone did I have? That would have been my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, do you remember like the Nokia, like it slid up, like it was a glass screen.
What you talking about?
And then it had the numbers.
Right.
So earlier that year, funny story, State lost to Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Shane Foster game.
Yeah.
And I shattered that phone.
Mm.
I was listening to the game on the radio. This is before, I mean, the kids of this generation don't understand. You didn't get to see Mississippi State on SEC Network every single game in SEC play. You got to see maybe 5 or 6 games on TV. Most of the time when State was on the road, you listened to Jack Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was listening to Jack Crystal
mm-hmm.
on my radio in my apartment, College Station.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw that cell phone when Shane Foster hit like his 9th 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I threw it across the apartment and shattered it. But I believe that was the same cell phone I had during that time. I got a new one, the same one. I think it was a Nokia.
Yeah. Well, Nokia was the big dog back then.
Yes.
So if I did the Google search correctly, I had a Nokia 2760, the flip phone.
Okay.
I had the flip phone.
Gray and blue.
Yeah.
I had that phone.
Yeah.
Was it the color screen?
Oh, yeah.
That was a big deal when you had the color screen.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that I'm trying to remember what my ringtone was, because that's back when it was a big deal to have the custom ringtones. Yep. I don't remember exactly what mine was, but I
had every time I got a text message, it played a song.
Oh, that's too much.
And so like people would just get so irritated with me that I think eventually I stopped that.
Yeah. There we go. All right, Mark Burleson. My wife and I just bought a new mattress after having the same one for 18 years. Is it normal to have a mattress for that long? I'm pretty sure I'm on
probably year 10 with mine. It's still good.
I'm probably getting close to 10. We got one. We had Emily at that point. So I think. Yeah.
I mean, they tell you you're supposed to change them out like every few years. Like,
no one does that.
It's just that's a lot of money to spend routinely.
What's something else of high usage that is relatively cheap for how long it's used? In reality, a car.
Yep.
Because especially if you're not buying like a Mercedes or something, if you just buy a Toyota. I bought my last car, the Toyota Corolla. I bought that in 2014, and I spent, I think, just over $11,000 paying for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it for 11 years. I just lost it because some old woman hit me. And,
you had to throw out. She was old.
Oh, she was old. I need to throw that in there. So But I mean, think about it like that, right? So I basically paid $1,000 a year to be able to travel anywhere I want. That's a pretty good deal, right? So that's one. I mean, a house can be that way too. I mean, you pay $100,000 for a house, but if you live in it for 30 years, so what, $3,000 a year, something like that.
It's
to
just
have a place to live every day of your life is a pretty good deal.
well, it's just if you got a loan with the house with the bank,
Right,
you know, the interest that you pay on it.
But even if you end up paying $180,000 over 30 years, right? That's $6,000 a year, right?
Yeah, well,
To have a place where you can go home every day. That's
but
big.
180,000, if that's kind of with interest, that house is probably going to be like barely over a shack at this point. 180 that you're paying with considering interest in it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be that's not going to be much. Well, unless I guess unless it's something that like is grandfathered in from you.
How
Like,
much do you think my house cost?
is it 180,000?
It was
no, but you that's from years ago though. You've had that loan for a while. So the interest rate was significantly lower.
2016 when I bought the house.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
I'm just talking about like in today's time. If you get a house now,
I never thought one of my friends would wish me to be homeless like this.
yeah. So in today's time,
I live in a shack, evidently. A hovel.
if you went to the bank today
Uh-huh.
and got a house that was 180,000 with interest,
Mm-hmm.
you were living in a shack.
The good news is today, if I went to the bank and looked for a loan, I have a job that pays. So it all works out in the end, I guess.
That's true. Yeah. What I'm saying is, I just built a house.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll just say like I wish that I was paying 180,000 for that with interest, because the interest is where they get you.
Yeah.
Because I think ours closed at like 6.3%.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just tell you, it's going to be a tough 15 years trying to pay that off.
I'm sure.
So I don't know if I would consider, from my point of view, the way that the prices are now, I don't know if I would consider that good, like relatively cheap.
Okay.
You know. But the last house I was in, when I closed on that house, and it was a really good time to buy a house. That was great. It was a good time to sell too the next time. Yeah. So I guess it was, win-win or win-lose.
We got Wade Jones here asking, what happened to Nick Brazel? I've got an answer.
Are you searching over there?
I already have.
Okay.
He is playing arena football for the Oregon Black Bears.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's still playing. So I don't know how popular that team is or anything. Let's see.
What a time that was.
Yeah, that was something. So
he went from just committing to Mississippi State out of the blue.
Yeah.
And everybody wondering how this happened.
And everybody's
to
like,
going to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And then
1 year.
He had one good year, went to junior college, was coming back to Ole Miss and didn't make it. So that was kind of towards the end of the South Panola dynasty, I think.
Yeah.
They haven't really had a whole lot of action since then.
No. Yeah, that's class of 2010. They had a couple years later when they had Tony Connor. They were still good then. But
2013 class.
Yeah, so that's it. Since then, though, yeah, it's been downhill for Panola. Hunter Johnson again. Sorry to make two separate posts, but how does A&M win like they do, shooting the ball like they do? They win with defense.
Same way Mississippi State did last year.
Yeah, exactly. But they are a elite defensive team, but they also have Wade Taylor, who is an outstanding offensive player.
Well, and they're elite rebounding.
They're an elite. They control the boards.
When you rebound offensively the way that they do, they can afford to miss shots.
Yeah.
Shooting 6 for 30 or whatever from 3 and gobbling up 15 to 18 offensive boards, it's going to add up. You're still going to get your points.
Yeah.
So the shooting percentages just don't matter as much.
Right. Brooks Taylor, what are some fun memories with Nathan Taylor? I have some good ones, being his nephew and all. You're going to have to answer this because I have been in the same room with Nathan Taylor, I think, twice.
Is it only twice?
Maybe 3 times at most. It's not a lot.
Fun memories. Anytime that
I guess my fun memories were eating brisket and talking sports.
Those were some very.
They were fun though. Don't get me wrong. And eating that blueberry delight thing. That was good.
Yeah, we won't ever get that unless somebody else makes it because the person that made that I think is no longer working there. So that's sad
You
times.
need to figure something out.
Um, Nathan, when I first started going to First Baptist, he always tries to rope me into doing things. Like he wants me to lead a small group of college students, and he wants me to do this and that. Well, he always like got me involved with the pancake palooza,
Okay.
which is a pancake um,
Breakfast.
supper
Yeah.
for college students
Mhm.
during exams, and we usually have, I think, one every semester.
Mhm.
And so, like those times were always fun. He would stop in, and we would make jokes and things like that. And the preacher would be on the griddle cooking the pancakes, and I'd be cracking the eggs, and everybody would make fun of me. And it was a good time. One year, I actually got to do one of the griddles.
Mhm.
And they gave me the griddle that was like malfunctioning.
Oh, of course.
So like,
Robbie, I'm
Mr.
sorry to wonder-
Newman, who's always there, he had the full griddle.
Yeah.
And I had the little tiny griddle that one of the burners was like every now and then it would turn on. And so I'm sitting there and the mix is just like there. Like it's not I can
cooking.
tell it's not cooking. And so like it cooked a little bit and I went to flip it over and it all just fell apart.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like looking over at my pancakes and they're disaster.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, I promise you, I know how to cook pancakes.
Yeah.
I can do this. Something's wrong. And they're like, no, what are you doing? You're terrible. And eventually I looked down there like, this thing's not even like working. And Michael was like, yeah, I knew it was like that. That's why I picked this one over here.
I'm
like,
sorry.
why did you put me on this?
Between this and the way they were like, hey, don't go out there while we're not trying to. I think that you're a bit of a mascot up there.
I think it is.
I think they're like, let's get Robbie again. You're like, they're like
Nathan-
rib you. They're ribbing you.
Nathan was the one baptizing, and he let me walk out to the middle of the stage and say, good morning.
He gave like the little tug of the ear, and they were like, oh, get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walk out to the middle of the stage like, good morning, everybody. And Nathan's like, we're not done yet.
Yeah, so that's why it was a rib. He ribbed you.
I believe it 100%.
There you go. Another one from Brooks, by the way. Y'all talk about blue plates all the time for restaurant Tyler. I used to go to the Veranda every Tuesday when I was there in 2010. What happened to that spot? Did COVID get it? It was just so good and tough to beat. I mean, it's just saying, restaurants move on sometimes, and it was a great restaurant. I enjoyed it, but no one there.
I think
Chef Jay Yates.
Didn't Jay Yates just kind of like he just retired? Not retired.
Well,
but
he got out of Starkville and moved on, and now he's down and he's got a restaurant down in Natchez, I believe now, and
I love the Veranda. Their blue plates
great.
were awesome.
Great.
I miss it, but taste is really good.
Very good. Hail State 5 ever. Robbie, you mentioned having a binder of Pokemon cards from your childhood last week. Who are y'all 6 Pokemons to make up your team for battle?
I don't even remember. I mean, I remembered Charizard was like the mecca. If you could get like the big thing for us when we were kids was like if you could get the holographic Charizard, you're gonna be, the king of the castle.
I got you.
I don't know, man. I had the Pokemon Game Boy games. I had a couple of the N64 games. I loved Pokemon, and I can't even remember anything about it. I really like.
Well, it's a good thing I reached out to Aislinn then.
Are you Aislinn about it?
Because I had no idea, obviously. She said she could see me having
Pikachu. You gotta have Pikachu.
Oh no, there's no. So, buddy, that's kind of like everybody knows Pikachu.
You gotta go deep.
We're going deep here. My starter is going to be a Feraligatr.
Okay.
With a Staraptor, Persian, Dragonite, Crobat, and a nice Gengar is what she says for me.
Okay.
So that's my team.
I always liked Gigglypuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it sang a song.
What's the one that's big and fat and lazy?
I think that's Gigglypuff.
No, it's hold on.
It's like a Snarls.
You're fat Pokemon. Lazy.
That Pokemon, it's going to be some
Snorlax.
Snorlax.
That's
Snorlax is the big version.
Yeah.
I want to say. All right, I got
Jigglypuff evolves into a.
I think Jigglypuff
evolve.
No, I don't think that's correct.
No, it's not. It goes from Jigglypuff to Wigglytuff.
I don't know how they came up with this stuff, man, but it was.
In the words of the late great Paul Gallo, probably a lot of marijuana.
Yeah, I'm one day I'm going to pull that book out and show people what I got there. I was a massive nerd. We were after school.
I would love to have it. You probably make you an offer.
Natty in some kind of Happy Meal or something the other day that I did. If it was a Happy Meal, I did not buy it.
You just so anti-McDonald's, man.
She got some cards, and so she's been playing with those cards. And I told her, like, Daddy's got a bunch of those cards. So I'm gonna have to pull those cards out at some point and let her see the impressive collection that I've accumulated. Which I think someone might have stole some of my cards because I was looking through it like last year, and there's a bunch of I had the protective.
The pages. I understand. Yeah.
And there's a bunch missing. I was very organized in how I did things. I would have how they evolved and stuff. There's several missing. Someone stole my cards. I will have justice.
I'm going to blame your Ole Miss brother-in-law.
I don't think he would care much about poking my cards, and be honest.
They're an investment. He probably got the valuable one.
Do you think so?
And that money went to the Grove Collective, I bet. You bought Ole Miss recruits.
Well,
indirectly.
Some people have called me a rebel before.
That's true. One more from Brooks Taylor. He's got a lot of questions today. Favorite WWE entrance and/or music? Batista had a great entrance and one of my favorites, but I've always liked Benoit's music. Transgressions aside.
We talked about this at the Royal Rumble. I have in my algorithm on Instagram was Chris Benoit memes.
Like when you yell at your mom or something, like when your kids yell at your mom, you hear
Yeah, I hate to make light of this, but it was like whenever she just won't shut up or something.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God, don't do that.
But
Triple H obviously is the GOAT entrance in my opinion. I love his. I love the old Jericho break the wall down was fantastic.
The Brood. That was my favorite.
Is a great one.
That was one of my favorite in the Attitude Era.
And then just going into Edge with Metalingus is great.
Yeah. But anytime the glass breaks or if you smell comes on, that's awesome.
Those are those I was saying. Yeah. John, what winning lottery amount would you hide from your wife? For example, if I won $30,000, I'd keep it secret and invest, or maybe have free lunch for a decade. But if I won $100,000, I'd tell my wife so we could renovate our house. First off, John,
it sounds like John's scared that his wife is going to grab his money and run.
John's got a good-looking wife. John, I would not. I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast. Is all I'm going to say. I mean, I don't think there. Yeah, I don't know what that number is. Like, if I want $100, maybe I'll just keep that to myself. But if I won $30,000, I mean, we could pay off some stuff with that. I just bought a new car; I could pay it off. So yeah. I would probably tell her $30,000.
I don't really hide anything from Becky. I
just love the idea of this guy like going out to eat for lunch every day. He's like, oh, great.
Just like it never dawns on his wife that he's won extra money, that he's come into money and support.
Honey, what'd you eat for lunch today? Oh, I went to Taste today. But you have been to lunch like 10 days in a row. But I'm not seeing this on the bank account. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
You went to 44 Prime for breakfast? You had a private breakfast at 44 Prime? I didn't know they had that.
What's going on here? Brogan Fairchild, rank these fictional robots: Optimus Prime, the Terminator, Wall-E, Johnny Five from Short Circuit, and R2-D2. Prime's one.
Optimus Prime is number one.
Here's how I'm going to go. I'll tell you what I think, and then you tell me.
Well, I'm going to say Optimus Prime, Terminator.
No. R2-D2 is number two.
Ahead of the Terminator?
Yeah. R2-D2 basically saved the galaxy like 3 times.
What? But that's not. This is the Terminator is a human, almost indestructible robot.
I'm just saying. I'm taking
R2-D2 if shot with one of the laser guns that they have is
a blaster. Is that the word you're looking for? A blaster.
I don't like the word blaster.
Why not?
I don't know. It just sounds dirty. So I'm just gonna call it the laser gun.
All right, fine. I'm going Optimus Prime, R2D2, the Terminator, Wall-E, Johnny Five.
Johnny Five's definitely down.
He's dead last. Yeah.
Johnny Five was just like a little robot.
Yeah.
It was just.
I mean, he's a big robot, but he's down the list there. So.
Where's Bicentennial Man Robin Williams on here?
I'm surprised 3PO doesn't make it.
He became an actual person.
3PO should be on this list too. He spoke a billion languages.
Let's replace R2D2 with C3PO.
No, R2D2 was better than C3PO.
He didn't even talk.
No, it doesn't matter. First of all, he could talk. He talked in his way. C3PO understood him.
Yeah, but it was just beep, beep, boop, boop, boop.
Well, I mean, if you spoke droid, which C3PO did.
Yeah, but C3PO spoke
But
English.
R2D2 was courageous, and C3PO was a coward.
He was scared of
everything. R2D2 would just charge into battle.
He didn't know his own power, though, C3PO.
Yeah. Not sure how to ask this, but I hope you get the gist. I know universities don't want to spend a lot on non-revenue generating sports, but at what point is spending enough money to make a non-revenue sport elite worth the return on investment because of the publicity it brings to the university? I think this is a question that had a different answer maybe 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, what State was doing women's basketball, it was worth it 100% because you got a lot of publicity. Now that you have to pay $20 million a year out to your athletes, you can't afford to lose money anywhere. You got to be as tight as you can.
Here's what I say.
Okay.
I think that, like South Carolina, I think it's going to extremely hinder what they do in athletics, having their women's basketball team be what they are. I think basketball and football are going to suffer a little bit from that because they're spending so much money on Dawn Staley and the women's basketball program because they have to kind of keep that status. You're elite at something like better than elite. You're dominant at a particular sport.
You are the number one program in the country.
And if Vic Taylor was here, State would have to be doing that as well. But I think you got to start thinking a little smarter in how you're managing your money now that you're having to spread it out through all these different sports with the revenue sharing.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than how it used to be. I'll say that. And like LSU, kind of similar thing. I think they're probably spending as much, if not more, on women's basketball than they are on men. And that's, to me, that's just.
Well, there was an article on On3 just the other day about that they felt like Mulkey was getting. I mean, they only spent like $2 million at LSU on men's basketball.
Yeah,
and Mulkey's getting more than that.
And that's a revenue sport.
Yeah. So, Colton Watson. I mean, we are way down the list here, Colton. What's going on? After last week,
he was asleep.
I guess I reached out to some of my Gulf Coast friends and confirmed this French and Catalina dressing on pizza nonsense. What other affronts to God, food related or otherwise, do you know of that are region specific?
We talked about it last week.
We kind of talked about some of these things
with the spaghetti and mashed potatoes, and
I think that
peanut butter and jelly sandwich and tomato soup.
There are two barbecue sauce affronts to God, abominations.
Mustard base
in the Carolinas, and then I don't like white sauce either. It's mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise on barbecue.
I mean, I can eat both of those things, but I just don't like it.
I do not like it.
Like State used to do that. Remember, like State would give us like barbecue or barbecue sandwiches at those baseball games, and the sauce would be the mustard.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't eat it. So yeah.
The food we used to get in the old Duty Noble was like an abomination. Like it was almost like a punishment.
Yeah.
And we had the remember they had the Philly cheese steak and like the cheese just sitting there and like nobody came and got it.
So
and we came back on Saturday, it was still there.
And there wasn't any plastic wrap, but there was a film over the top of that piece. It was in a container. I'm not making this. It was this big, full of just. It's not even Cheese Whiz. It's like Cheese Wizard or whatever the generic. It was. So
I'm not even sure what it was. It was processed something.
It was bad.
And like they would just like dump the stuff up there and like, oh, you're on your own.
Yeah, it's like a turn off.
And like all the marketing and like media relations, they would wipe it out, and we would come in there and there'd be no food left.
Yeah, I learned pretty early to just go get something to eat before the game.
Yeah,
so
they did have good catfish that time.
One time
that like It was like none left for anybody. We were at spring
I
practice.
got there. I didn't go to spring practice, so I got to eat. And I remember went back up to get a Coke, and I looked and it was all gone. I was like, oh my God.
And I was like, oh, Hayden ate all the catfish.
And I was immediately like,
you were sitting there by yourself.
Yeah. I was like, what? I remember it was another time I got.
It was a George Costanza shrinkage moment.
I got to the hump one time real early because I just didn't have anything to do. And I was like, I can just do some work while I'm up there in the media. This is back when we had the media room upstairs.
Yeah.
And the dinner that night was like pizza. They brought in a bunch of Pizza Hut pizzas. And I mean, they set the pizzas down, and I'm like, all right, I'll get one in a second. And out of the corner of my eye, I see movement. Like 40 kids come in there and grab a pizza. And I was just like,
all the interns.
I remember sending a text to like our media group. I was like, y'all need to get up here if you want to eat.
Yeah.
Because they wiped it out. So.
It was like all interns.
Yeah.
Like during the game, like all they did was like pass out stats or something.
Yeah. Where does RJ Melendez rank among Rebel killers? He had a huge performance on a huge moment versus them already, but only one season. I mean, he's not really on. We can't put him on the Jake Mangum, Chris Relf, Timmy Bowers list here. So.
No.
Victoria Vivian's belongs on that
Fitzgerald.
list. Fitzgerald's on that list. Yeah, he's not in that list. So, why do Mississippi fans bail on teams at the first opportunity? It's not just basketball. I've witnessed Swayze Field empty out in the 6th inning of a one-run ball game. I mean, that Robitussin's not going to drink itself.
They got better things to do.
Yeah, I just got better things to do. All right, we'll do Rob Hathaway's questions here, and then we'll go to the break. Rob Hadaway, you mentioned reaction videos last week. Have you ever fallen down the rabbit hole of Def Leppard reaction videos where you wait for the moment where the person realizes Rick Allen only has one arm? Terrific. No, but I will tonight. That is on the to-do list.
It really is amazing when you consider that he is playing.
He's playing with his feet.
The biggest songs that they have was after his car wreck.
Yeah. And also for his on Hysteria, yeah.
Because the Hysteria was their best album.
Yeah.
And I think it is.
Pyromania? Awfully good.
I like Hysteria better.
My favorite Def Leppard song is on Pyromania. So.
What is it?
Photograph.
I love Photograph.
Yeah.
You got Photograph, Hysteria, Gods of War is one of my favorite songs ever.
Pyromania. Hysteria, yeah. You're thinking Pour Some Sugar on Me.
I thought you just said the Photograph was.
Photograph is it's on Pyromania.
Okay. So I'm trying to think what all
Sugar on Me, Animal, Love Bites.
Yep.
Gods of War you mentioned. Hysteria.
Hysteria
on Me obviously number one.
Hysteria to me is
Armageddon It.
I love
Armageddon It.
Hysteria is one of their
great song.
Their best. I would consider kind of a ballad.
Yeah,
type.
It's definitely I need to watch those videos though, because I want to say, wait. I can see like, wait a minute. Does he? Like, I want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see that. It's probably somebody that's kind of young.
Yeah. Would fans be justified in rejecting Ricky Starks' new name on NXT and just chanting Ricky Starks until he changes it back?
Why did they change it?
You know what it is?
It's
Ricky Saints.
Why? It's because he's from New Orleans.
It's from New Orleans, yeah.
Just let it be. Just let him be what he is.
He already. Everybody knows who that guy is.
That's why I don't understand the Braun Breaker thing. Just let Braun Breaker be Braun Steiner.
Especially like with Starks, who had already been a star in AEW. It's like buying a McDonald's and changing the name to McDoubles.
And they don't own that name. I'm guessing he was that before,
isn't it? Hold on, I gotta know now. Ricky, I gotta know if that's his real name. His real name is Ricky Starks. It's his actual name. Why would you change it? Doesn't make a lick of sense. Last one from Rob. Last week, I went on a school field trip with my daughter with Chick-fil-A box lunches for lunch. They came with mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup packets. What psychopath is putting mayo, mustard, and ketchup on their Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich? I mean, it's for the fries, right? But it doesn't come with, box lunch doesn't come with fries. It comes with chips. Mm-hmm. That's a good question, though. Who would do such a thing?
Yeah, see, I don't. When I get a Chick-fil-A sandwich, I do the sauces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard on it.
No, I don't know the answer to that. So,
but yeah, I can't get on board with that.
Let's move into the rest of the show. That's brought to you by our friends over at Two Brothers Smoked Meats in the heart of the Cotton District, which we're heading to after this. Is what you said?
Yes, we are.
Very good. Very good. Well, so we're going to go enjoy some smoked Southern soul food on a cold Wednesday afternoon.
It is very cold. I don't like this at all.
It's chilly. It's chilly outside. But the food will be great, and the service will be even better, and we're looking forward to a great meal. Never mind. That's the end of the show. Ready to go eat.
Let's go.
Let's go. See you there at Two Brothers Smoked Meats. And, of course, the older brother. Great products, great service. Every business likes to promise it to you. They deliver it to you at Advantage Business Systems. That's what they've been doing for 50 years. That's because 50 years of being in business, that's how you know, right? That's how you know that you can trust Advantage Business Systems. That's how you know that when you buy a copier or a printer or a laptop from Advantage Business Systems, that they're going to be there for you after the sale. You can't stay open for 50 years if you don't take care of your customers. Advantage Business Systems has been doing that for a long, long time, and they're going to continue to do it for a long, long time. 601-362-9192 or visit them online, absms.com. Find out how Advantage Business Systems will help your business do business. Before you go to your next game here in Starkville, you need to make a trip over to Maroon & Co. and get some new gear. Polos, pullovers, hats, T-shirts, stuff for your car, for your tailgate, for your house, whatever it is, Maroon and White, it's at Maroon & Co., the biggest and best selection in Starkville. And best of all, we'll save you a little money when you go shop there. You can use this code online, or you can use it in the store. It's Thunder15, 15% off regular price items. They say some exclusions apply. I haven't seen those exclusions yet. Maybe the exclusions are excluded. I don't know the answer to that. Before you go to your next game in Starkville, make sure you make a trip to Maroon & Co. All right, next question comes to us from Jordan Toops, who says, last week on the pod, Brian said that Jans misevaluated Kanye Clary. How can that be the case if he's not playing due to injury? I know it's been said over and over that he isn't playing due to injury, but hearing that comment raised my suspicion. Are you insinuating there are other factors at play? I just think it was hard to make the determination that he was misevaluated after only watching him 7 games, unless you think there's something else at play. So the question in here is, are you insinuating that there are other factors at play? Yes.
I just don't agree on misevaluations on players that end up doing this. If that's what you,
it's like, I know they're talented. Like, you didn't misevaluate their talent.
Yeah.
You misevaluated.
People said that about Andrew Taylor last year. Like, how could anybody predict that Andrew Taylor was going to sit out?
Right. Well, what you would say is the misevaluation is in their commitment to basketball.
Yeah,
maybe.
But I mean, and I know he had
playing your way.
I think he had. I don't think the style of play was an issue. I think he had a deal last year at Penn State where then he kind of walk or leave the team or something last year over NIL or something like that. That probably would have been a red flag for me.
I agree. Tony Loper, the best damn veterinarian in the city of Vicksburg.
I've heard.
Going back to your senior year of high school, what's one thing you wish you would have done and one thing you would do differently? I wish I would have enjoyed playing football more than I did. And I enjoyed playing it, but practice was I wish I had taken advantage of every moment I got to play because I knew that when I got my last game, I knew when it was over, it was over. I just wish I'd known it was going to be over.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And then for one thing I would do differently, I don't know. I would have applied for some more scholarship money because I sure didn't get enough of that. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't have any regrets about high school. Like, I feel like my life turned out well.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
And, right after high school, I would have had a ton of regrets. Like, why didn't I spend more time in the doing a better job in the classroom? Why didn't I do this and that? I don't think anything would have really changed for me, and like for my life, what happened in high school. We always thought, like, when we left high school, like, we were going to miss our friends and stuff like that.
I still talk to my friends every day. My friends from high school, I talk to them every day.
I don't talk to many people in my class.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Because my core group of high school friends all went to state.
Yeah.
So they became my college friends too. So yeah,
I had some of that too, and then I got the time with them in junior college and stuff like that too. But I made other friends, and some of those others, they went on with their lives, and they made friends. There's like maybe 3 or 4 that I routinely talk to.
I have. It's not a big group. I don't talk to all of my old high school friends, but like the core group is still together after all these years. And those I've known, like Brian McDuff and Ryan Nelson have been my friends since kindergarten. So we're talking about 45 years basically of being
my best friends in high school. Like I would say one I routinely talk to.
I got you.
You got something going on in the back of your head there?
Yeah, I got like a bump or something. It's bothering me.
Yeah. Keep picking the scab off for the
It's not a scab.
viewers.
It's not a scab. It's just something back there. I don't know what's going on.
It's a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not. Andy Losick asks, has anyone rescued the hot dog cart yet that is perilously hanging from the Davis Wade Stadium second deck staircase? I would hate to see the potential replacement cost derail lights and sound once again. Now, that's kind of funny.
The hot dog cart fell. Sorry,
we're out. Yeah, there's just a hot dog cart there. I don't know what's going on there.
It's very random. There's just a cart is like somebody decided I'm going to go down the stairs with this, and then immediately was like, nope, I'm not going down the stairs with this, and they just left it.
When I see this area of Davis Wade, I think about that game where the cat was up there. You remember that?
No.
So right by the M State, like that little area right there that leads you into the press box, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a cat on the ledge.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And I tried so hard to get it to come off of the ledge, and they ended up sending the fire department, and the cat was gone at that point. I was like, how did this cat even get up here? So
yeah, there's many times in my life where I think, how did this happen with this cat?
Yeah.
I used to have a fear, I would dream about it,
of cats?
Falling from
Davis Wade?
From the top of Davis Wade.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because somebody told me one time that, like, somebody fell from up there, like, years ago. I don't know if that was true or not, but that stuck with me for a long time. And we went up there, like, 2 years ago when they did the balconies or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't go
up there, and that's the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, God.
When I was standing up there is, what if I fell?
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not a fan of heights.
Dr. Tony Loper again. If you could own a pro sports team, which sport would it be? It's definitely baseball. And
I would love to own a baseball team.
Well, the main reason I want to do baseball is there's no salary cap. So if I got the money to own a team, I'm buying a win.
And I definitely want to be an owner.
Yeah.
And hire someone to manage the team.
Oh, I'm hiring a top-notch general manager.
I want to be involved in it, but not Jerry Jones type.
I want to be. So I don't know if I told you. I do a soccer thing here, but you have to live with it.
Yeah. Well.
So the first year that Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea, he's a Russian oligarch who had to sell the team a couple years ago because he was tied in with Putin, and they were like, "You got to get out." But the first year, he was a billionaire. He was like, he tells the coach, Jose Mourinho, like, you can have any players you want. I'll buy them, whoever you want. So he tells him, okay, for my striker, I want Didier Drogba, who's not a really well-known player. But Mourinho had seen enough. It's like, that's my guy. And so Abramovich is like, wait a minute, who? Who do you want? I can go get this guy. I can go get this guy. Who do you want? And Mourinho's like, Mr. Abramovich, pay and be silent. And that's the kind of owner I want to be. I will just pay and be silent. I'm going to hire the right people, and that's how you're going to win. So.
Well, there you go. I didn't understand any of that, but except for the pay and be silent.
Pay and be silent. That's the way an owner should be.
That will stick with me.
Andrew Norwood. Bon Scott passed away in 1980 on this date. The late AC/DC frontman with an iconic voice and bagpipes in hand. In honor of this, name your top 3 AC/DC tracks. The problem is, a couple of them are going to be Brian Johnson, aren't they?
Well, actually, I think all 3 of mine are Brian Johnson.
Okay. I would say Highway to Hell is on my list, so that's going to be a Bon Scott.
I would probably have that on my list,
but then
too.
My other 2 are probably going to be
Shoot to Thrill. Shoot to Thrill is my number 1.
Shoot to Thrill, and then I'm probably going to go.
I'm tempted to put A Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll, which is Bon Scott.
That's a good one.
But I don't know if I would do that. I'm gonna go with the 2 most known, pretty much, Back in Black, which was a tribute to Bon Scott, which was Brian Johnson.
Yeah. Highway
to Hell, which is Bon Scott, and Shoot to Thrill is my number 1.
I think that's my top 3 too. I'll be honest with you. So.
Yeah.
Davis Medford ranked these baseball movies: Sandlot, Bull Durham, A League of Their Own, Field of Dreams, Moneyball. Moneyball's last.
Not a big Moneyball fan, huh?
I hate that movie for one reason. All right. I get the whole they put the team together and they use the analytics. They had Mulder, Hudson, and Zito. They had the best rotation in baseball. They also had Miguel Tejada and Eric Chavez dropping 30 bombs each.
It wasn't the B team.
It wasn't just the fact that they had Chad Bradford and Scott Hatterberg. They don't even mention Mulder, Zito, and Hudson.
Giambi. Don't forget Giambi.
Giambi was off that team.
They've got rid of Giambi.
Gotten rid of Giambi and Damon. But they still had a ton of talent, and they had the 3 best pitchers in baseball on their roster. So that's
it was kind of silly.
I'm going to go Field of Dreams.
Was Zito on that team?
Yeah. Zito, Mulder, and Hudson.
Tim Hudson.
Yeah, we're the top 3 guys there. I'm going to go Field of Dreams, Sandlot, League of Their Own, Bull Durham, Moneyball.
Yeah, I think I would probably I like Moneyball more than Bull Durham.
Okay.
That might be blasphemy for
fine
sports fans, but I do like Moneyball.
Ford poll. Currently, Texas has the 2nd most overall wins in college baseball. Can you guess number 1? It's Fordham. Did you know it would take Texas 36 years to catch Fordham? The answer to the question is no. I didn't know that, but that's an incredible. I had no idea.
That really is crazy.
That's something there. Mississippi State and Mississippi have one of the oldest college basketball rivalries in the SEC. Do you know they've only played each other twice when both teams are ranked? Yep. And can you guess who won both games? It's Mississippi State.
That's true.
That is true.
It really is amazing this is the first 2 times both teams have been ranked. Yeah. Like, it's hard to believe because they've both been good.
They've had some good years, yeah. John wants us to rank these SEC Player of the Year Bulldogs. Lawrence Roberts, Tanner Allen, Rocky Felker, Jeff Malone, Brent Rooker, Tierra McCowan, Jackie Parker, who won 2.
This is tough.
It's tough except for number 1. Tanner Allen's number 1. He won a national title. National Player of the Year and win a national title, you get to be number 1.
So we have to consider team performance here.
Well, I mean, I think so.
If that's the case, then you have to have Tierra McCowan number 2.
She's 2. Lawrence Roberts 3. Felker 4.
Jackie Parker's got to be up there.
Parker's teams were not good, actually.
Yeah, but the individual.
What years was he at State? Hold on. So Parker is the quarterback at State in 52 and 53. All right. So what were those teams? Go check out my good friend Mr. Jay Howell here. 52 and 53. State went 5-4 and 5-2-3. I mean, Felker's ahead of Jackie Parker.
I can't go all in on it being about the team performance. I think you got to consider it's asking you to rank the SEC.
Well, I mean, that's the thing
that
we're talking about the SEC Players of the Year, right? So you know that their individual performance was outstanding.
But here's the thing: if Jackie Parker's teams were bad and he was still named SEC Player of the Year, what's that say about him?
That might be a good point.
Brent Rooker had one of the great seasons of. I mean, he's one of only 2 players.
You're going to tell me that Palmero and Clark, neither one of them were SEC Player of the Year? Who was the SEC Player of the Year in 1985?
Well, and
I got to know the answer.
Was Ben McDonald?
No, he's later than that.
He was after them.
Yeah, he's in the late 80s.
Well, they probably wouldn't have a pitcher's Player of the Year. He'd be the pitcher of the year.
Will Clark was the SEC Player of the Year. What are we doing here?
He just picked.
He just picked some random ones.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go Allen. All right, I'll use yours. But I'm still going with Tanner Allen because he won a national title. That gets special consideration. Allen. Brent Rooker won this Triple Crown.
One of 2 people ever.
Rooker. Parker won it twice. Parker, Roberts, Tierra McCowan.
I think Tierra McCowan was more impressive than Lawrence Roberts.
Yeah, okay, then fine. McCowan, Roberts, Felker, Malone.
That'll work.
All right. John also wants to know, Robbie, what's the most outrageous parent behavior you've ever seen at a high school sporting event?
I witnessed a guy at a North State softball game screaming at a woman on the other side. That was pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a couple years ago, I saw a guy come down from the stands and try to fight the timekeeper, the guy running the scoreboard.
Okay.
Because the scoreboard sticks, like the time on the scoreboard sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So while he pressed the button, it didn't show on the scoreboard the clock was running, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was calling him a cheater, basically. And then after the game, came down there and was trying to fight him.
Nice. Give me one more.
Those are two
Okay.
that are real. And then, the last couple weeks, I've seen people thrown out of games for yelling at the refs.
Okay. Mangum Cafe. Name random.
Oh, no, I take that back.
Okay.
There was a woman that came on the court a couple years ago, and there was a fight between two girls' teams.
Mm-hmm.
The woman came out on the court and, threw down one of the players on the other team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mangum
I see some crazy things at these high school
yeah.
games.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to go into. Mangum Cafe. Name random New England Patriots. You mean like Logan Mankins?
Mike Vrabel,
Andre Tippett?
Teddy Bruschi,
Terry Glenn?
Randy Moss,
Irving Fryer?
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis,
Ben Coates?
Drew Bledsoe,
Brandon Bolden?
Julian Edelman.
Ty Law? Yeah.
There's so many more.
Oh, I mean, I can keep going. Yeah, I mean, is Tom Brady a random Patriot? I mean, I don't think
he counts.
Curtis Martin.
Curtis, my favorite Martin.
That's a good one. Yeah.
No, I'm tapped.
Okay.
I don't even like talking about the Patriots. I hated those teams.
There are 1,000 grapes. You get $50,000 for each grape you eat. There is one grape that kills you.
Ooh.
How many are you eating?
I think I'll eat the first two,
Mhm.
and then if I get through that, I'm not
So
taking any
$100,000 you call it a day.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances. No way.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would do it.
I mean, that would be my luck to grab the first grape. Like, here we go, dead.
Like, is there if there was a way I could
You can't though. That's
if
the
I
whole
could
point.
feel like the
Nah,
grape and
nah,
see
nah.
is this a little smushy?
No, it's got every grape is the same. Every
Okay.
grape's got to be the same. Robbie, break down the pros and cons of Pete Taylor Park.
The press box is great. The view is right behind home plate, and it's just a full window,
Mhm.
so you can see the whole field. It's awesome. I like how intimate it is. The crowd's kind of right on you.
Yeah.
The cons is it's not very big. You can't really get a lot of people in there,
Mhm.
and a lot of people have to sit on the sides and in the back, so the view is just not great when you get away from the stand.
And you might say well, it's USM, you don't need a big, but for that stadium, for that fan base for baseball, they probably do need a little bigger stadium.
Concourse is very tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not conducive for big crowds.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the atmosphere is good, and I really like the press box. I've always liked going up there for press box purposes.
Walking Bully, will you explain the competition between Bryan and Cross, meaning which sports are included and the current score? We are including football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, and volleyball. And it's currently 9-8 Richard.
Okay.
So if I can win these two series in baseball and softball, I will win for the third straight year.
There you go. I'm having to trudge through the mentions over the court storming right now.
Yeah,
So.
I'm sure you are. Bryce Overby, with the approach at the plate the last few years and Tuesday night, is that more on the players in the lineup, or is Gautreaux no longer a top hitting coach in the league? I mean, if it's just one game, I'm going to put it more on the players. But last season with some of the issues State had with clutch hitting, I mean, that is something that makes you wonder what's going on as far as the hitting coach goes.
I mean, here's the thing is that I think that that's kind of Gautreaux's style is he lets the guys
work their way
through it, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing. It just depends on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
For Mississippi State, they've had a lot of these times where they just kind of go through the motions offensively. So, I mean, they don't seem to adjust extremely well throughout a ball game.
Yeah.
But we've also seen them go through some times where they're just absolutely torching it.
Yeah.
So
Hunter Bolin asks, was there a movie that your kids watched on repeat that you used to like but you can't stand anymore? I swear my daughter has made us watch Frozen over 100 times this year, and it's only February. I've watched Frozen at least 300 times in my life, but I can still get through it. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really have one like this, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. I mean, you know, I don't like crave watching Moana or anything. After all the times I've watched it, but if Natty turned it on, I wouldn't turn it off or walk out of the room or anything. I think I could handle it.
Cody asks, rank these Bulldogs: Cody Augustus, Reed Humphreys, Malcolm Johnson, Craig Sword. Humphreys, Sword, Johnson, Augustus is where I'm going.
Oh, I might go Chicken first.
Over Reed Humphreys?
Mm-hmm.
That guy was an SEC champion. Great player.
You keep using team
success. Because that's how I think about these guys.
But that's not how they're thinking about it. He's asking you to rank these people in their...
Humphreys was a really good baseball player.
He was, but he had a really good 16.
Yeah.
And he was good in a couple years, but Craig Sword is, 1,000, 15-point scorer. He was really good for several years on some awful teams. I think
maybe just because when I think of Craig Sword, I immediately think of Rick Ray, and I'm just like,
you're letting. I think you're letting the team success or lack thereof.
Rank them. You rank them your way.
He's just asking you to rank them as they are.
I rank them
as they are.
I rank them,
not to do with the team.
He asked me to rank them. He asked you to rank them. I rank them. You rank them.
Okay, I'm gonna say Craig Sword, then probably Reed Humphreys, Malcolm Johnson, Cody Augustus.
That's only one difference.
And I might actually consider Malcolm Johnson second.
Okay.
Just saying.
Just calm down.
I'm just saying.
Bradley Douglas. In your opinion, what is the perfect combination of pizza toppings? Pepperoni.
Does that count cheese?
No, cheese is automatic.
Okay.
Pepperoni, Italian sausage, bacon, jalapenos. That's Brian Haydad's favorite kind of pizza, right?
The only thing I need is pepperoni and sausage.
Okay.
But I mean, the other stuff I would take.
Yeah, it's good.
But if you just gave me a pizza, when I go to Boardtown, I get the pepperoni pizza and I add some sausage on it.
Okay.
And
good.
It's excellent. I love sausage and pepperoni on a pizza. It's awesome.
Alex Douglas asked us to rank fast food French fries. This is all you, buddy. McDonald's,
Chick-fil-A. She came right in after Bradley.
Yeah. McDonald's. Two Douglases in a row. Are they related? Who knows?
Yeah,
McDonald's, Chick-fil-A.
That's his wife.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, do you know these people?
I do know these people.
Okay, I don't know them.
Yes, you do. They're on the Rumblings every week.
I don't know them personally.
Well, I don't either, but I know them because we've interacted.
So you're sure that this is his?
I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
Bradley and Alex, that this is a person that doesn't appreciate you as listeners.
God, shut up.
He doesn't believe that.
Okay, rank the Douglases. Go ahead.
Alex and then Bradley.
Okay. What about my brother?
Huh?
My brother. What about him? Is he not on the list?
Is your brother a Douglas?
He's Douglas Hadad.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Is that the one that looks like you?
Yeah.
That freaked me out when
he looks older than me though, but he's 10 years younger.
That really freaked me out.
Yeah.
It's like when I found out that Tom Ebel was a twin.
Yes, that one did freak me out. Rank the fries, Robbie. McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Arby's, Zaxby's, Jack's.
You know what's going to blow your mind?
Never had Jack's fries?
No, I have.
Okay, I haven't had
McDonald's is the best.
Yeah, they are the best.
And I don't like McDonald's, but McDonald's fries are the best.
Yeah.
McDonald's, Chick-fil-A is down the list here a little bit.
I don't like the waffle.
Well, I do like the waffle fries, but if they get a little cold, if you get the end piece, I don't like that. I don't like too much potato. So Arby's is number 2.
Okay.
Then I'd probably go Chick-fil-A at its best. And then Jack's, and then Zaxby's.
Okay, there you go. Brad Baxter, do you think the difference between a deep run in March and an early round exit really boils down to our 3-point defense? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I think.
I think that it's as simple as that.
We got 3 more questions here, I believe, or maybe 4. Gib Ellis, huge Auburn fan. Back in 2021, Lee Battelle promised to get a tattoo if we won the Natty in baseball.
On blast.
Is it fair to blame the lack of production in recent years on his failure to get said tattoo? And what can we do to make sure we get our man inked up? I think at this point, Lee needs to not only get that tattoo, but we should have some say in where it goes. And I think it's a tramp stamp sign.
We had Wes Ray as a witness in here too.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I think a walking bully right above the
I remember the
Great Divide, the Continental Divide. There is exactly what we need to go with.
I remember this too.
And I mean, you wonder why you lose. You can't have commitment from your fans. What do you have?
How can we trust Lee now, knowing that he is a liar?
I hate that Gibb had to be the one to tell us this too, because we don't like him. He's an Auburn fan.
I still like Gibb, but he's going down that path.
Yeah.
And he's about to get on the John Cohen and Rhett Hobart.
Gibb's a great friend of ours. Great support of the program.
Mess around, you're going to be in a photo with Everett
Everett, yeah. Marcus Kelly, solved this debate amongst my friends, Nirvana or Pearl Jam. Did Cobain's death fuel Nirvana's popularity? It seems like Pearl Jam is a no-brainer here. What say you?
It is Pearl Jam.
It is Pearl Jam, but I mean Nirvana was huge before Kurt Cobain died. That's not it. That's not it at all. But Pearl Jam is my favorite band, so that's an easy one. I like this question from Brian McDuff. Do you think Dan Mullen will treat media differently since he has spent the last few years on that side of college sports? I tend to say that he will, but at the same time, I could be able to be like, oh, no, that's what I had to do.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's kind of hard to change your personality.
Yeah, agreed. Graham Wellington.
Still getting through these
I know, it's all right. We only got 2 left. Graham Wellington. I got into a debate with a coworker the other day about fans wearing jerseys. You think it's weird for grown men to wear a jersey because you're wearing another man's name on your back. What are your thoughts? I'm not too anti-jersey. I own a soccer jersey, but it's not there's no number or name on the back of it.
I wear jerseys watching Steelers games all the time.
Yeah, it's not a big.
It's like a culture thing with like the NFL.
Yeah, it's a lot more NFL than college
and hockey.
Yeah, hockey big time.
Yeah,
sure. And you're not a fan, obviously, but soccer, a lot of fans wear the kit.
I see a lot of people wearing like basketball jerseys at basketball games.
No, and in college games, like kids wear them, but you don't see a lot of adults wearing college jerseys unless you go to LSU or Florida.
Yeah,
then they wear them. Drunk Bo Wallace asks us, great name. The Clarion Ledger has been a roller coaster of MSU sports beat writers in recent years. I pine for the days when there was more longevity. How far back can you name the Clarion Ledger sports beat writers? Okay.
From Mississippi State?
Yeah, so right now we're on Sam Sklar.
Mm-hmm.
We just had Stefan Krajnik. We're in with Tyler Horka.
Mm-mm.
Andy I'm sorry. I don't count him. Tyler Horka. Before him was Will Salmon.
Yep.
Mike Bonner. Brandon Marcello. Kyle Veazey. All right, so now we're getting back to who was it? Oh, Ian Rappaport.
Ian Rappaport
was before him.
Sekou
Smith. Are we missing somebody between Sekou and Ian?
I don't think so.
Okay. Before Sekou Smith, it was Mike Knopfler.
See, that's
now we're getting back into like the early 90s.
Sekou, I think, is as far back
Mike
as I
is
can
as
go.
far back as I can go. I don't think Rusty Hampton was ever an MSU's beat writer. So
no, he was just kind of a columnist.
He was a sports editor.
Yeah,
and then
he would write columns and everything.
Yeah, so there you go. That's as far back as we can take you. And then not a question, but here we go. Will Stanford. Many complain about your 7-minute ad reads on Thunder and Lightning and skip right. I mean, if you combine them both, yeah. But they did so. If they did so today, they missed the greatest Peter Griffin impression these years have ever heard. Well done, Brian. Thanks, Will. So
we like doing our Peter Griffin.
I do. We do love a good Peter Griffin impression on this one. Hey, Robbie. Yeah. All right. Tomorrow's show.
Got a glass of better data. Hey, Meg.
That's a great one there. I did not like The Godfather. Did not care for it. It insists upon itself. Tomorrow's show, we'll re-preview Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and we'll look ahead to the weekend in baseball as well. Have a great Thursday. Back with you on Friday. For Robbie Faulk, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Thunder and Lightning here on Super Talk, Mississippi.
Bye.